Hello everyone and welcome back to a new cleaning for free. Today we're cleaning this apartment from a girl who is about my age. Let's call this girl Kelsey. Since COVID came around, Kelsey has been struggling with depression and she also got addicted to a very specific drug, and I will tell you more about that later in the video. Kelsey contacted me through TikTok, and even though she really knew she needed help, she was very hesitant to ask me to help her because she had this addiction that had taken over her whole life. She was afraid that if I would come into her house and see the condition, then I would contact authorities and that she might be evicted. But at a certain point, she realized that I always come without judgment and that I'm operating just by myself. So Kelsey sent me some pictures and there was nothing strange except that there was quite an amount of boxes that all looked the same and were the same size. I tried to zoom in on those pictures and I also showed them to my husband, but we weren't completely sure what those boxes were. But I can already tell you that these boxes were perfect hiding places for some small residents who found a home in this house. I am very well practiced in greeting these small residents and I was a little bit angry with them, and you will see in the next clip how this went.
Shit. Ah, muis! Eee! Move! Two mouses. Yeeks! Could you please move? You can't live in here.
As you can see, this trash bag was completely transformed into a mouse nest, and you can see Mr. and Mrs. Mouse crawling on the floor right there. And I was a little bit angry with them because they did not pay rent to live here. This mouse family had completely seized and taken control over this whole kitchen, and there were mouse droppings everywhere. You can see on the floor right there that these mice made a complete mess, and I will tell you how they do this. These mice told me that every night at midnight they organize a rave party for the whole neighborhood, and all the mice come to this home and they rave together for at least an hour. And that's a big lie. The real reason why these mice are making such a mess is their teeth. Unlike our teeth, a mouse's teeth never stop growing. Their teeth are growing 0.3 millimeters a day. And because his teeth are growing so fast, a mouse has to make sure that he wears out his teeth throughout the day. And this explains the unstoppable urge of a mouse to gnaw and nibble on anything he can find. One of his favorite things to nibble on is cardboard, and there was plenty of that in this apartment.
Oh ja, dit is ook wel heel belangrijk. Oh shit, hier is ook iets opgelopen. Je ruikt gewoon de muis en poep. En ook is het muis en kat hier komt. En ik snap nu waarom die kast niet wegkomen. Oh jongens, ja, oh muispoep. Oh muispoep. Oeh, dit is lekker zo groot. Oh, die is lekker. Wat nou niet 5 misschien meer dan elkaar. Oh, je wordt achter de keuken.
And in this corner of the kitchen, the mice also made a nest, and that is why I was showing you the trash bag. There was a big hole in it, and you can also see, I would call it gnaw dust on the floor. And don't worry, I am using a disposable sweeper and dustpan, and when I'm done cleaning, I always put them in the trash. You might also notice that there is a lot of delivery food packaging right there. But most of the food packaging and food leftovers were around her bed. And I'm not filming her bed because it is really private. But in a house where I see a lot of food and food packaging in a bedroom and around the bed, I can tell that this person has probably isolated him or herself for quite some time. And I would like to take this moment to let you know that if you're struggling with depression, I am giving you this really warm and tight hug. And I whisper, it's gonna be okay. And if you have friends or family or anyone who knows you and they have a really hard time understanding depression, that doesn't mean that there is something wrong with you. I would like to encourage you to seek help, and not just in the form of therapy, but also in the form of a support group. And these are people who keep on believing in you, even when you don't believe in yourself.
Oh, let's see. Als je vast pakken dan. Dan kijk hoe deze om te krijgen. Oh, en dan door. Dan ben ik blij mee. Want vaak zie je wel, het is echt heel zuur. Kijk, kijk, kijk. Dus ben je alles lekker in? Wat een vet. Er is heel veel vet. even kijken. Are you ready? Let's go! Woo! Oh, wat een plakkaat, hè? Allemaal junk.
I would like to apologize because at this moment I did not realize that the camera wasn't in a good spot. So the whole sink cleaning, you just see my hair and nothing else. So I'm not putting that in because that will be really boring. But you will see a cleaner sink in the next clip.
Ja hoor, dat is hier Wauw, dit is gek. Het komt allemaal jongens. Dat betekent dat deze bossen zo meteen echt gaat stralen. Gaan we het maken. Woehoe. Dus dat is zo fijn dat het vast lekker kunt in deze woning. Ik ben nu steeds aan het maken jongens. Dat betekent dat ik alle fiets op ogen weer weg te halen. Maar dat is niet dat het al gedesinfecteerd is. Dat is wat anders.
I am also showing you this kettle that looked so spooky to me. I don't know for sure, but it did seem like some algae had grown in this kettle in the water. But it could also be that the resident had tried to cook something and that it didn't really work out. But I hope that she hasn't used it because it looked like a biohazard.
Oh, dit is allemaal jongens. Nou, voor je ook op dit moment. Dat was de wereld. Nog niet. Net hier is mijn vriendin. Die geschoord. Nog wat dik jongens, super.
Some people might think, Colleen, why don't you just remove the stove from that corner to clean behind it? Well, that's because I had a limited amount of time. I did this cleaning on a Wednesday instead because I had doubled an appointment. So I had to clean on Saturday and Wednesday again. And yeah, that's why I didn't do it. I had just so many things to do in this apartment that I could only do what was necessary. Also, I am talking way too much during this cleaning because I was live on TikTok and I was having fun because there were so many people who were supporting this. I think there were about 300 or 400 people watching. And so yeah, I talked a little much about what I did and why I did it, and how I tackled this kitchen.
En als jullie zijn verhaal achter deze woning, dan kun je naar YouTube gaan. En dan kun je deze muziek zo komen. En als ik respect, want mensen zo die eigenlijk zelf vinden. Ik was zonder oordeel, maar niet uit zo'n komen. Of soms is voor. Trouwens, wat ik vind, die dingen, dat maakt niet uit. Dus ik ben altijd respectvol. Maar als jullie heel veel over situaties weer steeds naar YouTube gaan. Oké, we gaan natuurlijk afronden. En dan gaan we nog verder. Is hij, dus die met je verder? Want ik ga zoeken al even zitten. Nou zijn ik zo niet hoor. Zo, dan ga ik elkaar zien hoe het is. En het is ook heel woensdag.
Kelsey lives in a one-room apartment, and this is the living room part, and on the left of that is her bedroom, but I'm not showing the bed because it's really private to her. You will notice a remarkable amount of the same boxes in this clip, and it has to do with the addiction that I talked about earlier. Kelsey has been addicted to nitrous oxide, which is a narcotizer. Nitrous oxide is so addictive because it has an analgesic and sedative effect. It helps you to calm down for a very short amount of time. People with mental health problems might become addicted to certain drugs because it helps them to feel less. But just as with other drugs, using nitrous oxide for the long term is very dangerous. Without going into too much detail, Kelsey has definitely experienced the consequences of this, and that's why she stopped using it. Just watching me flattening all those boxes and put them into trash bags, I thought that might be a little bit boring, so we're skipping that part, and this is what was under all those boxes. The whole couch was trashed, and also there were traces of mice. There were mice droppings, and there was enough food for those mice on the couch. Did you see that? That mouse scared the freak out of me. I don't know where it came from, but all of a sudden it was running over the couch. Now, before I started sweeping the floor, I had texted Kelsey if she had a vacuum, but unfortunately she didn't have one. And I was running out of time, so I didn't have enough time to go to a shop and buy one for her. But I'm sure that it is necessary to vacuum the floor every day in an environment where mice have lived, because they know a route to your apartment and they know that there is so much food there. But you need to make your apartment as unattractive to those mice as you can. You can also see that in the spot where the trash bag was with the mice nest, the laminate has been damaged. And I'm saying this because after I mopped and scrubbed the floor, you will still see some brown spots, but those are damaged wood. I also wanted to say that I am planning on returning to this home. Kelsey didn't only ask me to, but I wasn't really satisfied with the full result myself. There were still some boxes under that table right there, and I think I could help Kelsey a little bit more. But I also knew that when I wanted to help her further, these nitrous oxide cylinders first needed to be removed from the house, and we actually managed to do that. With some donation money, I was able to rent a removal lift with an operator, and we could remove all those gas tanks from the apartment. Kelsey was so happy that she finally regained space and that she could move in her apartment again. And I was so grateful for all those donations, because without it, I would never have been able to do this for her. If you want to give some extra support to these free cleanings, I will put the links to the donation websites in the description. And for now, we will go back to the before again, and you will also get the after, of course. I want to thank you so much for watching this video, and I'm so grateful for all your support, and I hope to see you next time. Bye!